So this week, remember I told you when Hannah and Mina started coming, that they are learning how to be our teachers, okay? This week, they are both teaching some of my classes, okay? So fourth hour gets Hannah and fifth hour gets Mina, okay? So I'm gonna hand this over to Hannah. Please keep in mind that they're actually having to pay to be here to do this, okay? So make sure that you're listening, make sure that you're asking questions when you need to, all of that. If you have questions when it is not during class, you can send me that email and I will forward it to Hannah, okay? But just send it to me and I'll forward it on. That's easier than trying to get them a new address to get used to. Okay, and Mohammed, thanks for letting me know. Just get it turned in when you can. So I am going to hand this off to Hannah, and you guys should be on Canvas.
So everyone who just got here, we're just doing a quick warm up. We have about 2 more minutes. If you could draw an emoji that represents the way you feel right now, an emoji that represents how your weekend went, an emoji that represents how you feel about summer. Now, I think it'd be really cool if you're able, and you could turn on your camera to share your drawing with the class. That would be awesome. So anyone who's able, go ahead and turn your camera on and hold your drawing up for the class to see. Thank you, Grace. Thanks, Nora. Ooh, thanks, Soraya. That's awesome. Those look really cool. Ooh, thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Neela. Those look really good. Awesome. Yeah, thank you all for sharing. So the reason I wanted to talk about emojis today is because we're going to start learning about pop art. So pop art is just art that uses images and subjects from popular culture to reflect the everyday lives of ordinary people. So emojis are a really good example of pop art because they're just little works of artwork or pictures that we use in our everyday lives to talk about how we feel or to convey what we've been doing. So pop art is generally artwork that's really brightly colored. It has dark outlines. For example, in the soup can, we see these dark outlines, or in the Captain America picture, really bright colors like in the Marilyn Monroe. And a lot of times it's of ordinary objects. So like in this one in the top corner, we see like spaghetti and a car. Here we have a spoon. Sometimes it's even like different types of different sayings, like oof is a really popular one here in the Midwest. So pop art is just kind of categorized by these different characteristics. And so what we're going to be focusing on for the most part during this project is the subject matter. So when we looked at those images, we noticed that there was a picture of like celebrities. There was the character from the movie and the comic book, Captain America. There was food, there was slang. There was like the mass-produced objects, like a spoon would be an example of something that you could buy at the store. Pop artists are taking all of these things and turning them into artwork. So that's what we're going to focus on this week. And the way we're going to do that is by making a piece of ASCII art. So ASCII art is just a picture created using the letters and numbers and characters we have available on our keyboards. So before people had emojis, like these little happy smiley faces over here that are yellow, we would use things like the colon and the parenthesis to make a smiley face. Some of you have probably done this before. It's really fun and a common thing to do. Some people take it even further and make little characters like these ones in the middle, which kind of remind me of maybe some sort of anime. And then there's artists who take it even further and make these more complex shapes. Like we have a cheese and a heart and a dog. So our goal for this week is going to be to try to make something more like these ones over here. So trying to make like this, something like this heart, the cheese or the dog. And if you practice a whole lot and you get really good, maybe someday you can even make something like this. So these are some more advanced pieces of ASCII art, but here's another example of Marilyn Monroe. Here's the meme dog, and here's a famous piece of artwork recreated just using letters, numbers, and special characters on the keyboard. Just let me know if you have any questions, all right? I'm looking at the chat, and you can also just turn on your mic and call them out if you think of anything, okay? So again, our mission this week is to create a work of ASCII art. We're going to use imagery and subjects from popular culture, and we're going to consider if the letters are going to be uppercase, lowercase, what kind of font we want, what size of font. So yes, we can make the letters bold, we could make them italicized. We want to consider how we could replicate different types of textures. So like in this example with Bob Ross, we see his curly hair is kind of replicated using these O's. And then we also want to consider space. So do we fill up the entire space with letters, or do we only fill up certain parts of it? You have a choice for this. You can either do the digital version of the project or a drawing version of the project. For the digital version, we're not going to use Google Docs. We're actually going to use something called Canva. So I made a demo video that you can watch if you're doing the digital version. And this will explain how to access Canva, how to find a picture, and then how to trace the picture with the text. My only requirement for the digital version is I would like you to use no larger than 30-point font. And in the video, I talk more about how to change your font size. If you start watching the demo video and you're not really interested in the digital version, you're also welcome to try the drawing version. So if you're going to draw, you're going to want to start by searching the internet for a picture of something that you like. If you go back to the pink slide where we talked about different subject matter in pop art, that can give you some ideas of what picture you might use. Then if you have a printer at home, you're going to print out your picture and you can use a window to trace it. If you do not have a printer at home, you can very carefully trace the image off of your Chromebook. Once you have that picture on a separate sheet of paper, you're going to watch this video and that will show you how to go forward with choosing a word or phrase and then writing it to follow the lines you've traced. So that's our plan for this week. Are there any other questions about the project?